Hello, Yele Nation. So recently I've been seeing this style a lot. Like I scroll through Pinterest and I see the style. I look everywhere and I see this style and I was like, you know what? I need to let my Yele Nation people know how to make this as well. So today I'm going to be showing you how to recreate that sleeve type for any dress design that you want to make. The first thing you need is your pattern papers for your basic bodice pattern and your sleeve pattern. Now what I'm going to do is to set it like that, the way I pinned it together, and then trace it out. I trace it out from the neckline, that is like 0.5 inches from the neckline, and I traced it to the sleeves and I traced it to the arms, and I'm going to stop at the armhole. Okay, so you see the way I traced it, and remember that I did not trace it directly from the neckline. I went in 0.5 inches away from the neckline because according to the style, it doesn't start directly on the middle of your neckline. Now after tracing all of that, I'm going to cut it out on my pattern paper like you are seeing me do, and then I'm going to mark the place where I want how my curve to slant in. So from the 0.5 inches of my neckline, I'm going to just slant it all the way down to where my armhole meets the sleeve, just like you are seeing me do. And then after doing that, I can cut out my new pattern from the old pattern that I made. So after creating our new pattern from the previous one, the next thing we need to do is to notch out the bicep area. You can go lower if you want to. I just decided to pick the bicep area because that is easy and I will not waste too much fabric, because this is a tutorial after all. You people don't want me to use all my fabrics now. You understand what I'm saying? So you can go lower if you want to go lower. Like, it doesn't have to be at the bicep point. So after cutting it at the bicep point, I separated the upper part from the lower part. Now for this upper part, we are going to do what we call slash and spread. If you've not seen my mermaid dress tutorial or mermaid skirt tutorial, please go check it out. I expanded on the slash and spread method there as well. So now let's continue what we are doing. I labeled all the parts of my pattern because when I slash and spread it, I don't want to make any mistake to put the neckline in the armhole or put the armhole in the sleeve cuff or whatever. So I would advise you to also label it, because when you slash it open, you might not know which side is which side. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to slash everywhere from the neckline down to where the sleeve joining is. You don't really have to slash open the front curve area. I didn't slash it open, but if you want that place to also be full, or you want to pleat that place also, then you can slash it, but you don't have to. Anyway, so I just slashed it all the way down with like 1 inches distance at the bottom, and the last 2 slashes are more far apart than the rest because I wanted it to be very wide. So you can slash it as many times as you want and open it up as wide as you want. So after slashing it, I'm going to take a new pattern paper. In fact, this tutorial requires a lot of pattern paper on top of pattern paper on top of pattern paper. So just get ready for your pattern papers. Let your pattern papers do the work. All right, enough of our pattern papers. So after doing all of that, I open it up with an average of 3.5 inches per slash. Okay, so per slash is 3.5 inches, and then I join everything with a curve like you are seeing me do. And then after joining everything with a curve, I'm going to then cut it all out. You see the usefulness of labeling it now, because when you slash it open, you don't even know which part is which part if not for the labeling. All right, so after doing that, I'm going to then set my sleeve with it. I'm going to make sure that the part that I said is on fold is the same thing with part on fold on the lower part of the sleeve, because a mistake could have happened. So make sure that the side on fold when you were cutting your pattern is the same as the side of fold on the lower part of your sleeve. I hope you get what I'm saying. If you don't, always ask me a question. Now I carried this fabric. This fabric has suffered. It has been there for like 2-3 years, but I'm like, it's a Muslim fabric, that's its job. Anyways, we are going to use it like that because we are making a tutorial. We are not making the real dress by itself. And I'll also advise you to use muslin if you want to try this out, and not try it on your fabric straight up, because anything can happen. Ayo, be careful. All right, so when I'm cutting it out, I'm cutting out with 0.5 inches seam allowance on every side. Make sure you measure it. I'm just using eyes to see whether it's 0.5 or not 0.5, because nobody's going to wear this. So anyhow, we're going to be good, we're going to be fine. So I just cut out my pattern with 0.5 inches seam allowance, and I'm labeling it again. I'm labeling my fabric itself so that I'll know where to pleat and everything like that. It's not necessary for you to label the fabric, it's fine. Anyway, this is my turtleneck pattern. there's also a turtleneck tutorial on my channel. You see, I got you anyhow. I'm the plug. I've plugged you everywhere. So if you need a turtleneck tutorial also, it's also on my channel. I'm going to link it in the description and a card as well. So on the turtleneck, I'm going in by 0.5 inches. Remember, we also went 0.5 inches on the pattern for the neckline, so I will know exactly where to pleat from where to where. That's why I notched that 0.5. Now we are moving on to the sewing machine, and we are going to do this as usual. All right, so I'm going to take my fabric, and then I'm going to first of all join the side that I labeled to be on fold. You know, when I was labeling that this is the sleeve side and it's on fold. So that's the first part that I'm going to sew together. So I'm going to join it from the top to the bottom. I always say top to bottom in all my videos. I don't know why, but like, I'm not going to sing the song. You know the song I always sing. All right, so I'm going to, after sewing that side, the next thing that I'm going to do is then pleat the upper parts of it. You see this upper part, or everything on the upper part, that's what you're going to pleat on your neckline. So you can imagine how much fabric that you need to pleat on your neckline. And please don't throw away your pattern. Always try to refer to it so you don't get confused while you are sewing your clothes. If you throw away your pattern and something confuse you, please, anyway, you can always come back to this video and check it out. Okay, what I'm going to do now, instead of pleating, I am going to gather it, because this is a tutorial and I don't think you people have time to sit down for me to be pleating on that thing. So I'm going to gather it. It's going to be quicker than pleating. I want to know in the comment section, do you prefer gathers to pleating? Personally, I prefer pleating, because pleating is usually neater for me than gathers. But because it's a tutorial, that's why I'm using gathers method. You see the way I did it, that I'm gathering it. I wish it was this easy and this sweet to make, but it's not this easy and sweet to make. I wish I had superpowers like this and I could gather this fast. Anyways, so what I'm saying is, please in the comment section, let me know if you prefer gathers to pleating. I prefer pleating. Let me know if you prefer gathers to pleating. Now after gathering it, I'm going to tie the end so that the gathers doesn't loosen after I have finished. And now that I've gathered this, I'm then going to sew it on my neckline. Okay, so I will advise you to pleat it. It will be neater than these gathers. You see what I mean? Because when I finish, it's not as puffy as I would like it to be. And you know, the gathers was just anyway, it is a tutorial, so don't blame me and don't come for me that it's not as neat as it's supposed to be. If I was making it for a client, it's going to be way finer than this. Just saying. Alright, so I'm going to sew my gathers on my neckline. Everything, like all that pleating, is going to be on the neckline to 0.5 inches behind the neckline, or 0.5 inches away from the turtleneck. You get what I'm saying? If you have any question, as always, please reach out to me in the comment section and I'll always answer you, because I got you. Now after pleating that, I'm going to then sew the other side of my sleeve. Remember, we sewed the side that is on fold. Now we're going to sew the other side that is usually opened anyway. So we're going to sew it all the way to our armhole area. Now let's do that. Now after sewing that, I'm going to turn it inside out. I know you thought I was going to wear it, but it's not me that is going to wear it. It's my mannequin that is going to wear this one, because I cannot be wearing tail on my hand. You fashion designer like myself. Anyway, enough of the pride. Let's go to this to the mannequin and let me check out what it looks like on the mannequin. Even my mannequin is ready to wear fine tail on his body. All right, so I'm going to set it on the mannequin, and you can see that it resembles the style. If I used a better material, you're going to see the beauty and everything, but because this material is the way it is, so you have to bear with me and use your inner eyes to see the beauty of the style beyond the tail. Okay, so you see the puffiness and everything. I would advise you that you should put more puffs at the middle of your how would I put it, at the middle of your pleatings or of your sleeve. You know, there is a joining in the middle of the sleeve. I would advise you to put more puff in that at that place, or more pleating at that place than any other place, so that your sleeve side will be very puffy compared to the rest of the dress. So you can see the way it looks. You can see even the draping at the lower part. So if you wanted the draping to be lower, you can cut it lower than the bicep area that I cut it when I was tracing out my pattern. Now let me give you overview. You see it now. Okay, I even ironed it, so it should even look finer. All right, so thank you very much for watching this tutorial. If it helped you in any way, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to see you next time with another banger video. Bye.